The third item here is around founder details. I'll very quickly canter through this because I know we covered this in quite some detail in the last session. So you can see we've got one, this is for me as an admin user. Usually this would be your name. The first question we ask is your job title. That's pretty self-explanatory, I think. The second point is around when you started your employment with a company, when you became a director. So this should be the actual date you joined rather than today's date. Your notice period. So this is the period under which you have to give notice to the company and vice versa, in order to, when you resign. Doesn't cover things like gross misconduct and things like that. But this is the kind of default notice period in any other scenario. The default's 3 months, which I think is a nice balance, but it may be 1 month is appropriate or 6 months, depending on the business. The next item is the gross annual salary. Bearing in mind that this is going in the founder service agreement document, and this really means the gross annual salary that will be applied to you as a founder from the date you close the funding round. So it's not what is your salary today before you close the funding round. It is what will your salary be once you close the funding round. And sometimes those two things are quite different. Expenses limit. This is the amount that you can spend in a single transaction before you require board approval. Lots of founders think £100 is too low. You may want to change it to 200 or £1,000, whatever your investors would agree, really. You enter your work address as well, which can either be the company correspondence address, the registered address, any other address if you're working at WeWork every day or something else, or it can be your home address. Most people post-COVID are working from home, so whatever there is appropriate. Holiday allowance. This is the amount of holiday you have as a contractual right within your founder service agreement. Most founders are probably laughing at the thought of taking 25 days holiday in a year. I know I am, but this is kind of a contractual right to holiday, and number of holiday days that can carry over. That's very similar and related. And the number of months into the next calendar year by which you must use any of those carried over days before they're just lost. All of these are fairly standard employment things for most founders. None of this makes too much difference because, as we all know, being a founder is a full-time and more commitment. The next item is around bonus and benefits. Here you indicate anything you get above and beyond a salary. So do you get healthcare? Do you get a bonus if you meet certain milestones? Are there any other benefits, a pension or whatever? So here you detail any bonus, any benefits, anything that you want included in your contract above and beyond a salary. The next section is around other allowed business interests. So by default, the paperwork assumes that you are dedicating all of your time to this business and you have no other business interests. If you do have anything that falls into that, maybe you're working a day a week as a contractor in order to keep the lights on in lieu of a salary from the business, whatever it happens to be, then you should declare that here. And it means that, nobody can come after you for not dedicating 100% of your time. If you have any patents that you want to make it clear explicitly that you're allocating into the business, then you should detail the patents here. And similarly, any trademark. So quite often when you start a business, you will pick up a company name. You will do so before you've incorporated. You'll then apply for a trademark before you've even registered your company on Companies House. And then you'll go back retrospectively and you'll transfer the trademark from you owning it as an individual into the company itself. And the reason you do that, there are people, believe it or not, that look for every new company registration on Companies House and will go out and trademark the company name before you have the chance to do it. So it's best practice often to trademark first, register the company second, and then nobody can get in there. But that does mean you need to explicitly transfer the IP, the trademark of your company from the registration you have as an individual into the company, and this allows you to do it here. Finally, there's a section on excluded IP rights. So is there any IP that you own as an individual that you are explicitly not transferring into the company? So this might be something like, you own some source code that you produced before the company existed. The company is going to use, but you're not going to transfer. It may be, a patent that you own that you're not transferring into the business, or, a trademark or whatever. It's all any IP can be mentioned here. For most businesses, investors want to see absolutely all IP transferred into the business, but there are the odd corner case where you've produced a patent 10 years ago that you're just not going to transfer in, and this is your opportunity to call out on an individual basis where that is the case.